Hey everybody, Jason here, back at it again with another one of those content warnings. Know y'all love them. This episode features a scene where the party investigates something that could certainly be, I think, classified as sexual assault and or domestic abuse. If that sort of thing makes you uncomfortable, I guess either prepare yourself in whatever way works best for you, or go and skip this. It's not... I don't think it's too graphic, but obviously I can't judge for everyone. This one's not really the adventure's fault. This one is a little bit more my fault. I decided to change something offhand as the episode was happening, and inadvertently set up a situation that I think is way worse than what the book presents. So my bad on that part. But any case, hope you all are doing well. Hope you don't find it too weird or disturbing. Yeah. Otherwise, enjoy the episode. I think it's a good one. I think it's interesting. It's a little bit, it ends up being weirdly CSI, so, or SVU, either or. I don't know which of the two is more gory, but probably the one that's more gory. So yeah, sit back, enjoy the ride, and be prepared for what happens beyond the veils. Alright, see you in the episode. Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I am your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three... Oh, God darn it. There we go. We're all here.
That my call unpinned.
Yes, the same three map squares that were here last week. In the bottom left, we have Asher Ford, Human Ranger, played by Char.
Hi.
With a delightful, is that 68 HP or 58 HP? I should actually make that bigger so I can see.
58 HP.
58 HP.
I didn't realize I was so low.
In the bottom middle, we have Greshy, Ironroot, Dwarven Druid, played by Will.
I have a lot more HP than that. I'm fine.
And in the bottom right, we have Gunn, Shough, Human Champion of Astral, played by Adam.
Hey, everybody.
And last time on Third Action, our group of intrepid adventurers have been struggling to kill a bunch of illusionists. And they will continue to struggle to kill them as we jump into the game.
Yeah, this fight is not technically done.
Yeah, we're not done yet. I think how many were... There were 6 of them.
4 were dead.
4 of them
I think just the one left.
Dead. There's one visible one left.
Oh, that's true. There's the invisible one. I had forgotten about him.
Invisible
but blind.
Blind. Somewhere wandering around. I believe you last got a vague hint of where they are. Somewhere in this direction, below the bottom left chandelier. Sorry, was there a question from Greshy?
Oh, I was just thinking, if he hasn't come back out of hiding, then he's probably using greater invisibility. Should I think on sooner?
Definitely.
There is no such thing as greater invisibility in this system. I think just invisibility heightened to a certain level.
But it's heightened.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to cast, 4th level spells. Cool.
Invisibility 4th.
Ooh, what's lasted longer? Our cat substreak or this battle?
Change the duration of it?
Not really. So I think we ended... Did we end at the end of a round? Yes.
I believe so.
Start of the round. So we're starting the round with Asher first, then the Vraxarises, then Gunn, then Greshy. Asher, you're up. So you just emerged from the
Ah.
the top of the northern of the two passageways, having been spooked pretty badly. You're still frightened one, but you're no longer fleeing. So you just returned to see one remaining dude hanging out up
It
here
totally does.
fighting
Invisibility
on the
heightens.
platform.
Only lasts a minute.
I also I have the problem where I can't see again.
Oh, roll 20,
Yeah.
shakes fists.
So he's about to become visible again unless until he recasts.
Sometime the next couple of rounds, I'd imagine.
Oh, there goes all of my visibility.
There you go.
There it is.
There we
It's
go.
back.
All right, we just toggle the visibility and now you can see. Okay, Asher, what do you want to do?
I've been having so much fun. Did I forget what counts as my hunt prey icon? Are any of these my hunt prey icon already?
I've been
on?
using the orange dot as the hunt prey icon currently, and the one
Okay.
beside Gunn is still hunted.
So-
Yeah,
Okay,
So he's
cool.
currently
Hunted the
standing
guy
in
that
front
got
of
dropped
this
over here.
golden peacock
And this guy.
statue at the top of the platform, facing off against Gunn. There's a gap between Greshy or Phelan and Rock that you could shoot between, should you choose.
I will be shooting at him. I
This
feel like
particular-
that's what I
Rock
can
is
do.
way up in the air.
Rock
Yes,
should-
that's true.
Shuttle my arrows forward. Assist my arrow.
Rock, I think,
I get 3
is
turns.
30
I
feet
don't
in the
have
air
my-
currently.
Ooh. I can just shoot a whole bunch, I suppose. So let's take. Okay. Let's take a hunted shot for fun.
All right.
Fun and games.
All right.
Whee. Let's see. So that's 41 minus 2, so 39
That'll
and
be a
a
hit.
21.
Yep, that'll be one hit. Go ahead and make the damage. Roll the damage.
Whee.
Ooh.
Also has a 2D.
Very nice.
So it's 22
Alright.
piercing, 10 frost and flame, and another 8 precision damage from your strike.
40, I believe.
Yes. So your 2 arrows fly out. One of them hits the golden peacock statue, and kind of you watch it just kind of dissolve through it. It looks like it just the
Ooh.
arrow just kind of dissipated. But the other one manages to strike the that false Vraxaris in the arm, and he lets out a yelp of pain in Thessalonian. I think we also retcon slightly that Gunn cast comprehend languages
My
on
other-
himself.
Comprehend
before the
languages
fight.
again.
Languages.
Yeah,
Yep.
just to make some of the other stuff make sense. So Asher and Gunn can
Well,
understand.
that's
the
also going to
yelp
leave
for
me
pain, I
without
guess.
any further castings
Cool.
for the rest of today.
That's fine. Fine by me.
I bet it is.
Oh,
Okay, Asher
I'm going in this little corner.
moves in and slips all the way into the corner of the room to where he's just backed up against two of the mirrored walls of this massive chamber. Now that you're in here proper, you can feel the just massiveness of the room. The mirrors giving it this illusion of just being this massive, infinite space.
Made the mistake of trying to type in how much ammo I had, and now my sheet's frozen.
Uh-oh.
How dare I? It'll fix itself in a second.
I think we're reaching
There
the
it
limits of what
goes.
Roll20 can manage.
Okay, and I'm gonna shoot once more just for fun. We love shooting.
Shoots all
Here we
day.
go. a
Ooh.
30. that time.
30 is just under enough. The arrow flies past, and actually, you kind of arc this one to try and get it over Greshy's head, and it just lands in the wooden platform, the bamboo platform that the guy's standing on. Okay, I think that's all 3 actions. Let's see. The Vraxaris is going to start with a twist of his wrist, conjuring up or evoking up a little bit of electricity. Gunn, give me a reflex save.
I learned. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my reaction to add 2 to my reflex save here.
Okay.
And I have another 2 that I can add to this roll in addition to a 2 on the dice. So it probably doesn't matter. But that comes out to a 27 total.
27 is not a critical fail.
Critical failure.
Yeah, that's just not a critical fail. But it will do regular damage. Which is...
I don't like electricity damage anymore.
Not being your friend.
Because lightning bolt is what killed me last time.
There we go. That is that many.
Oh, 28, I guess, technically, but yeah, still not.
That.
This is the old +1 from...
19 points of electricity damage to Gunn, then. As you manage to, or don't manage to dodge out of the way in time from the crackling lightning, and then he will also go ahead and swing his dagger, thrusting it towards you. But that is a pretty bad miss. He stabs at you, and you just kind of backstep and completely dodge the thrust. That is when you guys hear the sound of arcane conjuring or arcane vocalizations from where you last heard the invisible one, and he too is going to conjure one of these shadow dragons. Where did my dragon go?
Yes, you don't need to see to do that.
No, I realized this.
I'll walk away.
Yeah, I realized this later that he could have just made one of these dragons.
The dragon can see.
Where's my dragon? Here's a dragon.
Itty bitty dragon.
Oh.
Bigger dragon.
The dragon can't fit out the door, so we just walk out.
Yeah, a dragon of shadow stuff forms and is going to you hear from this Vraxaris' voice, go attack whatever's the first one you see, and it will fly up towards Rock and make a strike.
Oh.
How high up is Rock?
Up in here.
That is a 35 to hit Rock.
40, but that is exactly Rock's AC.
Okay.
At
In
a
that
hit, I
case, we do. That was my damage. Okay. Let's do... that is 15 points of slashing damage as the dragon flies up and slashes at Rock in the air.
Oh no! He's pretty hurt.
Okay, that is their turn. Gunn.
Didn't he be visible yet?
Nope.
Okay. Can't remember which turn he cast it on.
Okay, well, I'm going to call for Rock to come over here. And Rock will come down here, slide down, swoop in on this guy, and make a strike on his talons. 32.
32 on that Draxaris. That. Why I'm going blind slightly. Yes, that will hit. That will hit. Roll
like
damage.
The clone. 17
Yes.
Talons damage. Pretty good.
17 points of piercing damage, or slashing damage from the talons, raking across that Draxaris' side. He lets out a pained yelp as he like twists to look at Rock.
Okay. And that's when I hit him. Whoops, that's an attack too. So let's add 7, let's say 5 for the not being an attack 2, and 1 for pride status.
Okay, so that would
32.
That'd be exactly a 32. That will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, and I have 30 points of damage for him.
Okay, you manage to, as he's distracted by Rock, he turns to look. That is the perfect opportune moment to strike. You stab like right through his side, piercing his stomach. Viscera splashes out onto the nice, pristine, clear bamboo flooring, and he collapses over in pain and dies.
Okay.
Thought he was still gonna be there. I was like, oh.
Third action, I'm gonna give Rock a nice, tasty love tap. High five. 42 hit points back. Lay on hands.
Okay, you reach out and run your hands through his feathers to heal him up. Greshy.
Good job, pal. You're doing
A little
great.
shy on spells, and I can't really see this one. I can see the dragon though, but I don't think he's going to be the real problem here. I'm going to go ahead and spend what little healing I've got and send some more energy toward Asher. And oof, terrible roll there, but that will be 25 points of healing for Asher back. And then Greshy will instruct Phelan to try and seek the wizard, the one that remains.
Okay.
I suppose Phelan can try and do seek actions.
Yes, he can. What's his perception modifier?
23. He's a master.
Okay.
Does he
That
have
is good.
any precise senses other than vision?
No. He has imprecise vision
He has
sense,
imprecise
but-
sense, right? Okay. So he is going to kind of sniff
Everybody
at the
have
air.
precise sense?
Well, he actually kneels down, sniffs at this Phryxeris that's lying in the oil slick, sniffs at him a bit, sniffs at the air, and then starts plodding around. I guess he doesn't want to go through the grease, so 5, 10, 15. What's his movement speed?
50.
Okay. 20, 25, 30.
He's a fast boy.
35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, he makes his way around underneath the dragon, and he seems like he's indicating the spot here.
All right.
He's growling.
Think we might have
But that
found
was
him.
his 2 actions. Top of the round,
That's right.
Asher.
What am I supposed to do about this?
I haven't been able to point it out yet, so I don't know that you know.
Nothing. Ah, they're all gone. Even though the scary music is playing.
Where's still the dragon?
Oh yeah, the dragon's here. I'll shoot at the dragon.
Okay.
There's no dragon.
I don't know if Asher saw what happened with the last dragon and the summon thing, so Asher may not know.
I think Asher saw the dragon, but didn't see what happened to it.
Right, because he ended up running away for a
I don't
minute.
know if he ever engaged it.
There's illusions here. Yeah, I never engaged the dragon or anything.
You have to propose first.
I know. Too far away and I don't have a ring. I'll shoot the ring at it.
Same.
So I'll shoot at this dragon. I can't shoot it. Wee! A 26.
Okay, you take a shot at the dragon. Sorry, I was trying to find the dragon's AC. Okay. Yeah, that is a miss for the 26. The arrow goes flying past the dragon. And I guess you're no longer frightened.
Oh, good. If I'm no longer frightened, that should have been a 20. Nope. Yeah, 27.
27's still not good
I
enough.
think. No, 26. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me
Oh, you're
at
fine.
all.
Continue.
Shoot. You know, maybe I can roll above a 10. Is it gonna roll? We'll find out.
Good try.
No, I can't roll above a 10.
No,
Good
that's
for me.
it's a natural 9 for 29.
27.
27 is not going to hit either. You try to take 2 shots at this thing, and it's just kind of, it's very quickly flitting out of the way in midair. The kind of shadowy aura is making it really hard to tell exactly where it is.
It surely must be something else I can do. I'll move actually. Boop.
Okay, you reposition more towards the center of the room, underneath one of the massive chandeliers. Raxaris's turn. Keep attacking! You hear call out in Thessalonian. The dragon will then turn and swoop down onto Phelan to try and attack him.
Well, that's just rude.
Does that give anybody enough to use their reaction to figure out where this guy is or anything like that?
I mean, you can all generally tell that he's somewhere in this vicinity.
Because you can't pinpoint a square without.
You would need to use that actual seek action to, based on the
Okay.
clues of you
There's
hearing, to pinpoint him to a square.
Okay. Gotcha.
That is the seek action, is to use the audio clues that you've got to pinpoint a square.
Okay.
Um,
So you don't need to do it in response to him saying something.
correct, yeah. Just the fact that he is saying stuff makes the DC easier.
Got it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So yes, in this case, sorry, what did I roll? I rolled that plus the number. That is a 37 to hit Phelan.
Does hit Phelan.
Does hit Phelan, okay. That is 16 points of slashing damage as the dragon swoops down and attacks. And you hear footsteps as the Vraxaris stumbles around. Gunn.
I'm going to. First thing I'm going to do is shout for. Actually, no. First thing I'm going to do.
Oh, actually, no. That is,
that's-
I believe, at the end of his turn. Perhaps unbeknownst to him, he does actually become visible.
Ah.
I don't remember which turn it was. I thought it was earlier, but time flies when you're beating up the same guy 12 times.
So the first thing I have to do is, at the start of my turn, I'm out of focus points, so I'll use Desperate Prayer to get one back, since we really need a boost. Thank you, Astral. This fight and the battle become Vexerus. Probably.
Could you speak up a bit? You've got really quiet.
Oh, okay. Let me try that again. Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
I have a free action, Desperate Prayer, to gain back 1 focus point. Once a day when I'm out at the start of my turn.
Okay, you move your sword in front of your face, close your eyes, say a quick prayer to Erastil to guide your blade.
Because I think we're gonna have this doofus, and then there's a real Varaxis still waiting for us. Rock and I will take the dragon. You two take out this guy.
All right,
So,
seems good to me.
actually,
I'll
let's
try.
see. I think if I command Rock, I can't. Let's see. I can mount Rock from here with 1 action, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's 1 action to mount up, as long as he's adjacent to
I'm
you.
gonna do that.
Okay.
Then I'll command Rock, and he will fly over here, which is I think down a little further even, so that we're flanking this dragon.
Okay.
And
Yep.
we'll each make a strike.
Okay, so
Nice.
Rock will make his strike first, and then you can make yours.
Yep. Rock with his talons has a 37.
Nice, very nice.
37 will hit. Rock flies out towards him with you on his back, combat ready. He goes talon first to make a strike at this shadowy dragon. Yeah, when it hits, as soon as the claws make contact with the dragon, the entire thing just dissipates.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Rock just manages to tear through it, and it just kind of just dissolves into shadow stuff. There was never a dragon there at all.
All right. Well then. Goodness, let me see if I have anything else to do with my turn. I could.
As
You have a focus point.
as you're thinking about that, anybody who had taken damage from that dragon, which I guess in this case would just be Phelan. Phelan shakes his head a bit, seeing the dragon dissolve, and any wounds he thought he had that were real were actually just mental damage.
That doesn't mean he heals it back. It
No,
just-
he still got
No.
hurt, but
I see.
He took damage,
the
but it
blood
was
that he
actually
thought was perhaps running down was not.
yes, it was actually non-lethal
all in
mental
his head.
damage, not lethal physical damage.
Oh, that's interesting. All mental damage is non-lethal. I forgot about that.
Yep. You realize this too, Gunn, as
Well, I'm
you
going
look
to-
down at some of the cuts that the other dragon had given you. Though they aren't actually real.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to intimidate this guy. I'm going to say, "Give it up. You're the last one standing, and we will find you eventually."
Does comprehend
Can't we
languages
see him?
give you Thessalonian?
Oh.
I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want him
you're-
just going, "What? I'm visible." Oh, let me recast that. Yes, comprehend languages lets you understand and speak.
Okay. So yes, go ahead and roll the intimidation.
But I'll make this intimidation check with
Demoralized.
a bonus that I
attempt.
hadn't been applying on it before. With a 38.
38 versus, that should be his will DC. That is a success. He spins around, scared. No, this isn't possible. No. Master Vraxeris can't find out. Greshy.
I'm pretty
Vraxeris
sure
has
he already
turned and
knows.
is wildly looking around. He was speaking in Thessalonian, which you don't understand.
I don't really know then. That's fair. I'm learning. I still picked up bits and pieces of words that make no sense still. I'm just gonna shock the bastard from here to start with.
Okay.
We'll see if that hurts him at all. I need him to try and dodge.
Okay, reflex save.
DC 31 though.
Plus his reflex bonus is 29, which is a failure.
Regular failures. So 24 electric damage.
Okay, he hears the... Oh, it'd be actually 28 in this case. But still the same thing. So 24 electric damage. He doesn't manage to dodge out of the way. The electricity jolts his body, singeing his clothes. He's still up.
Why it's 28?
Failing, go ahead and take care of him a bit.
He's frightened one.
So-
You just feared him.
Oh, he takes extra damage when he's... Like 4 extra damage? That's a lot.
Huh? No, he rolled a 28 on his save.
Oh,
Sorry, he rolled
okay.
a 29. I was reducing it
Sorry.
by 1 from frightened.
I see.
It just
So he
happens to
takes
also
24
match the
extra
28 damage.
in this case.
No,
It did.
No.
Anyway. It was a bit confusing there for a moment, but Phelan will circle around to behind him and will try and bite whatever he can get at. That's going to be a 32 to hit.
32 will hit.
With
Roll
flanking
damage.
34.
Yeah, 34 will
Even
definitely
better.
hit.
That's 25 magic piercing damage and 1 electric.
Okay, I'll say Phelan quickly gets around behind this Vrexaris and just baps him with the paw, causing him to just kind of topple over head first into the ground. His skull shatters, and he bleeds out on the floor. And in 14 rounds, that is combat over.
We did it.
Well, it took a minute and a half. It wasn't so bad.
A lot happened in that minute and a half.
Lots of spell casting.
A lot of injury. So
Let's land.
Okay.
are these
Climb
guys
down.
not illusions?
I have the wrong
if
music.
They're
Let's
all
do.
corpsey.
They do seem to have left corpses.
I would like to take a look at the blind one here and see what they have on them, I suppose.
Something just occurred to me.
Hmm.
After they're dead, do they still look like Vrexaris?
Also a good question.
Yes, after they're dead, they still do look like Vrexaris.
Okay.
Greshy, you kneel down and try to pick through this false Vrexaris's body and belongings, and it's all pretty simple. He's not wearing any fancy armor. He's just got on tunic. There's some like light leather armor underneath. No fancy runes or anything. A simple dagger. The dagger is nicely. It looks to be nicely crafted at first glance, but when you pick it up and start looking it over, the illusion fades, and it's just like an old rusty dagger. Not even a striking
You
rune
can
to be
get
seen.
good weaponry
This
out
guy's-
here.
This guy is definitely a master illusionist.
Illusion doesn't get you very far if you can't do much with it. Asher, where are you at?
I'm right here.
Hey, you alright?
Not this corpse. Oh, I've felt better and worse.
Well,
Well,
we'll take a few minutes once everybody's looked around a bit, I suppose.
yep.
Okay. It's the
think we
three of
should-
you, your two pets, and this giant hall with 4 massive chandeliers hanging around this bamboo platform, atop which is perched a massive golden peacock statue.
Before we confirm what I think I might have seen, that this entire statue is illusionary, we should maybe take a rest and try to recover a little bit, just in case the real Vrexaris is as hostile as his clones, or whatever these things were.
I can bandage this up a little bit here, but you say the statue is hollow?
I swear I saw an arrow pass right through it
Yeah,
when I was next to it.
it's an illusion.
Well, Asher's the right to it. Anyway, gather around, I'll do some bandaging. Just sit still.
We're sitting
And
still for minutes or seconds.
about 2 minutes.
Okay, I will meditate. Or
I
rather,
will spend some time and bandage
I will restfully
everybody
sit.
but myself. We'll go for Master, which I think is DC 30. See what
Okay.
happens there.
Make the attempt.
Just one short, but actually 37. So
37 is a success. So that is, for the Master DC, that's 4d8 plus 30.
is it 4d8 or 2d8 since it was just a success?
Oh, sorry. Yes, 2d8. 2d8 plus 30. Correct.
All right, so 38 hit points back for Gunn, Asher, Phelan, and Rock.
Okay.
Get y'all looking a little bit better now.
And we're not interrupted during that time.
No, you all have plenty of time to admire the brilliant splendor of the peacock and the infiniteness of this infinite-looking room. As every direction you
Can't
look, there's a
speak
mirrored
Thessalonian
surface.
anymore.
Is
I
there
will
like?
tap Asher for another 42 back
Oh,
for him.
thank you. Is there a way to consider why these Raxarai don't appear to be illusions, or
Think about what
I don't know
what they
to
might
say. Like,
actually
yeah,
be.
what are they actually? Because I can't imagine they're all just him multiple times.
Yeah, he's not a septuplet.
You could attempt a medicine check to like investigate the body itself, or perhaps an arcana check to investigate whatever spell might be in play here, if there's a spell in play here.
I mean, I actually think I would fiddle with the body in this case. Like, is it his mask? Is it what is this? I'm gonna Scooby-Doo this situation.
Okay, so yeah, medicine is
With
the
a
check.
30.
32.
I
Okay,
guess
30.
It would be.
Um,
It would be at
So-
30, yeah, with my mind.
yeah. So you kneel down and like check the eyes of this Fraxaris and go over to another one and check their eyes as well. Look at their fingerprints. Test their skin, or like pinch their skin a bit. They each one seems to be they look like they're just identical twins. Nothing about them seems to be, or nothing about their body seems to be illusory. They're definitely not like they look like twins in that there's very obviously like minor, not very obviously, but there are minor differences between them. They don't all appear to be the exact same age. The bodies differ in age by possibly a couple of years, maybe between the youngest and the oldest of these could be as big as 10 or 15 years apart.
The way they were acting made me think that they were some kind of construct. They seemed like they reminded me of the librarian. You know how he could only do what he'd been instructed to do?
What they were created for, perhaps.
But yeah, as far as you can tell, Asher, these look like real people. We can't hear
Very
you if you're
weird.
talking. Or I missed the beginning of that.
Oh, I just said weird, very weird. Very strange.
Should we take one more rest period to do a short heal and meditate?
I mean, it doesn't seem like he's coming out anytime soon, so sounds good to me.
If you want. Did you want me to continue bandaging then?
Yeah, if you could. Before,
Sure.
I think our next move is to just look down the...
You have continuous
Down.
recovery, right? Or whatever it's
I
called.
do.
Okay.
I have ward medic and continuous recovery and all the other fun medicine ones. So we'll do another master level medicine check.
Okay.
That's a 32, which is still a
32 is a
success.
success. So another 2d8 plus 30 to everybody. Because you guys spend another 10 minutes just admiring the statue and the
41.
construction.
That puts Phelan up to full. That's good.
It's definitely a very magnificent rune. The Asher is currently standing over a giant glowing version of the Pride rune. Just softly
Rock is
glowing on the
also
floor.
full. Yeah, we're almost full now, and I've got 2 points back for use should we need them as well. Shall we see what we can find under the statue?
Sure. Let's do it. Maybe I'll roll something over a 10 if we get enough fight.
My speech spell is gone now, and so are my wings. So I'll have to clamber up the statue pedestal here.
Okay. Yeah, you climb up the bamboo stairs leading to the top of the bamboo platform, and are there before the majesty of the great golden peacock. The statue seemingly giving off this like magnificent golden glow. You're not really sure if the statue itself is glowing or if it's just like reflections of all the lights in the room that's causing it to appear to glow, but it's very shiny.
Well, like the peacock's divinity, I believe this is just an illusion. Can I try to see through it somehow?
You can try to interact with it if you like. You'd need to touch
Disbelieve
it. Like
action,
just
interact?
Yeah, you'd have to actually interact with it to try and disbelieve it. Like just looking
try
at it
to
and thinking
touch
that's
the
not
peacock.
real doesn't seem to work, because it certainly looks very real.
Okay. Try to touch it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a. Oh, actually, I think I already have your. Do I still have your stats? What's your perception
Stat is
modifier?
important here. Perception modifier. 20.
20. Okay. Okay. You approach the statue and run your hand along it, along the base of one of the peacock's legs. It feels solid enough, but you kind of rub at it a bit, and the texture doesn't feel quite right for what looks like a shiny metallic bird. Feels rough and coarse, and you're able to kind of like wipe your hand over the surface a bit, and in that space, you kind of manage to dispel the illusion for a bit. And you can see just like a simple stone surface. And as you kind of step back, just for you, you can see that it's actually just one kind of stone column, about 10 feet high. It's almost less of a column and more just like a big mound of stone. The massive, like, brilliant peacock feathers are definitely just an illusion. They're completely you can see through them. They look transparent to you.
Okay. Is there any hole or stairs going down or anything like that?
No, it's just a big mound
This
of
platform?
Yeah, just a big mound of stone on top of a bamboo platform.
So, well, it seems to be at least partly illusion, but I'm not seeing any entrance or anything so far.
Did
Touch it. It's really made of stone.
Oh. Did the lady in the last room said that it was a fake wall behind the statue? So it could be possible it's one of the mirrors back.
It could be on the back wall there.
Behind. Yeah.
Okay.
muted. Greshy will pull out the decanter of endless water, and we'll go to the back wall and start spraying the wall to see if it starts going through at any point. Or if
Okay.
it doesn't look normal. That will be his way of interacting.
Okay, so you hop down off Phelan because this will be
Mhm.
easier without, and you just, I guess, starting from one end of the wall,
I will start in the south and go north.
you cock the decanter, and how long does it produce water for at a time?
It can keep
Endless.
producing
Is it
water
just
infinitely.
endless? Okay, cool. I guess that's in the name.
Decanter of endless water.
Decanter of rather a lot of water.
A little
so you're
bit.
doing.
A minute's worth of water.
Are you doing stream, fountain, or geyser?
Let's do fountain. We don't want to do geyser, but we are looking for a solid enough stream to see its interaction against the wall.
Okay,
And the
so
mirror
this is
specifically.
a 5-foot stream of water, so you need to be kind of close to the wall. So you just start
That's
going
fine.
along the wall, spraying water at it, seeing if the illusion could be seen through at any point. What's your perception check? What's your
Perception modifier should be 23.
23, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So as you're going along, you eventually get to about the center of the room, just directly behind the peacock statue, when you notice that it looks like the water is like hitting the wall and sliding down, but it's not quite leaving a real like trail of water behind. You realize that must be part of the
Mhm.
illusion, and the sound isn't quite right either. It's echoing like slightly differently, and so you stop the decanter and then kind of press your hand through, and you can feel there's a gap between the mirrors. And you can retract your hand.
Going through.
Oh.
Okay. You step through and find yourself immediately
Asher, when
up
we find
against
this guy,
a
you're
door.
going to be the only one who can speak with him.
Oh. Oh, convenient. I found something over here. No one come take a look?
It's a simple
Sure.
wooden door, kind of imperial looking in construction. Very, very wooden.
Rock, how about you stay out here, buddy?
Rock
So there's
kind of
no lock or
nods,
seal
and
on
then-
it at all that I can tell?
Yeah, Rock just perches on the bamboo platform.
Yeah, he did great. got
Nope,
to
there
use
doesn't seem to be any lock or seal
power.
here. It looks like the doors slide open. It's a double door, and there's like 2 handles in the middle, and it looks like they're sliding doors. But there doesn't appear to be any lock or anything like that
Oh.
present.
Who wants to go first?
We knock.
I mean, I'll go with you, but I think Asher should go first because he's the only one who'll be able to speak. I'm out of spells for the day.
Oh,
fair
yeah.
point.
I'm the only one.
I haven't
who
quite
can
learned
understand.
enough yet.
Oh dear. I'm going to knock on the door.
Reasonable.
Okay. Asher, you approach the door and just gently knock at it. Knock, knock, knock.
We don't clean up the corpses of his minions or anything. We just kind of.
You wait for a moment,
Excuse
but
me, sir.
there's no response. There doesn't appear to be any sound coming from the other side of the door.
Uh-oh. Well,
You can see
I'll
that there's
cautiously try
light.
and open the door.
There seems to be light coming from underneath the door frame.
That's good. I can't see in the dark. So I'll cautiously slide one of the doors open.
Okay.
Peek in.
One door at a time. We'll do something like that. That might work. Whoops, I did that on the wrong side. Okay. You cautiously slide the door open to reveal what looks like a study or a library of some sort. Books line the walls, but many are tossed out onto the floor. You see a velvety purple rug in the center of the room with a nice-looking reading table at the center. Perched on the reading table is a small golden statuette of a peacock, a couple of books, some pieces of parchment and ink quills and ink. And in the corner of the room, over by a pile of books that seem to have fallen, is another seeming copy of Rexaris. This one with this one appears to be a little bit older than the others. Maybe the hair is much more grayed. It's not fully gray yet, but like half grayed. Half grayed, half his typical blonde, I think he is.
Well, how am I supposed to know that's not the real Rexaris? I've never seen him.
I mean, it could. Is that the? Let's
he
go.
Dead?
I don't know.
Is that the real Rexaris?
Let's go.
Wait, there's no blood. He seems to be collapsed in the corner.
I can't stand next to him.
Oh, I can kind of stand on the bookshelves.
He's on a half square.
Yeah, he's on a half square. I can
Oh,
put
here,
him
I'll stand on a half shelf.
Greshy, try
Turtle power.
Ooh.
If you want to stand next to him, you can. Sure.
try first.
I would like to take a look and see what the hell happened. If somebody's going to kill this bastard, I would have thought it would have been us.
Maybe he
Can
got
we
too hungry. from
aid?
never leaving.
He's currently like curled up in a ball with some books have like fallen on him. His head is turned away, and he's collapsed there. But you can move off some of the books, and there's a pretty I guess I probably could have said earlier that there is a foul stench in the air. The typical foul stenches that come with death and decay. Or actually just death, not decay in this case. But you pull a few books off of his face, and you see his eyes are very like wide open and dilated. And he's kind of like maybe slightly frothing at the mouth a bit. There's a bit of spittle that's just kind of stuck to some of the books. And he does look like the other Rexarises you've seen, just a good maybe 20 or 30 years older than all of them. No obvious wounds to speak of, but if you want to do a medicine check, you could try and determine
I
cause of
would
death
love
if you
to.
wanted.
I'll help.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to aid then?
Yeah.
You need to be at least trained to aid with this.
What if I have improvisation?
Then yes, yeah, you could still do that.
That
then.
lets you do skill actions, but okay.
Yep, this
I'll
is still
try
still
to help.
action.
Bad.
25.
Okay. Gunn helps like pull out the body, arrange it very carefully for you to examine, and you got a 30 on your medicine check. So, checking the body over, not a single sign of a wound, or actually not many obvious signs of wounds. There's some spots on his arm, on his right arm, where he's clearly been hit with flames. Of some kind, probably a magical effect, but possibly just a normal burn. But they look like they've been healed magically. There's other just kind of minor marks of, like, mage combat, but they all look like they've, all been healed, so just minor scarring. There doesn't appear to be any kind of obvious cause of death here. Perhaps he just died of old age. But he doesn't quite look old enough to be, like old age dead. So perhaps some kind of disease, maybe a poison. It's a bit unclear, but it doesn't look like it.
He doesn't look.
It doesn't look like he'd been attacked.
Doesn't look like he was attacked. Doesn't appear to be anything obviously magical. Externally, just something internal, possibly disease or
How long
poison.
ago?
Hard to say for certain here. Is there any sign of... You said you were corrected yourself on decay. Is there any sign of decay at all?
There's 0 signs of decay.
So
It
this-
looks like he's just died literally right now.
This could have happened because we killed his clones.
He
That's what
could
you're
have
saying.
died from shock from Asher knocking on the door.
Oh, I didn't think I was knocking that loud.
I don't think you were
Yes.
either, but
I strong hands, I guess.
goodness, Asher, you're just killing everyone today.
Also, is this a door over here, or is
Yes,
this just
there's
okay.
another set of sliding double doors at the southern end of the room.
Is there
I want...
anything- Let's search this room before we continue
Yeah,
on.
we can
I was
do
going to
that.
say, I want to ransack the books that you said he's got a pile of. I want to see what he was working on.
Okay.
Don't go up there.
So Greshy's
My
going to go
goodness.
through the. I guess you guys maybe have gotten him off of the stack of books. Greshy, you're going to go through the stack of books there to see what he was reading
Mhm.
about.
Aye.
What are Gunn and Asher up to?
I'll search his desk.
Okay. Gunn goes over to the desk to give that a search. What's Asher doing?
I'll come over. Oh my goodness, Asher. I'll come over towards the door. I'm not going to do anything to them. I'm just kind of going to listen to see if there's any sounds of someone moving or approaching or anything from the other side.
Okay, so yeah, you're just gonna go over to the southern doors and take a listen. Okay, Asher, give me a perception check. The other two, 41. Okay, so Asher, you
Technically a
carefully...
39.
A 39, okay. In any event, 39. So you listen at the door carefully. You look under the crack. There's clearly still light in the next room. But you don't hear any sounds of footsteps, no sounds of nothing really. It's completely silent in here other than the rifling sounds of people behind you shuffling through books and documents.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, by behind you I mean Gunn and Greshy, not anything else.
Yeah. I was just saying, because I'm like, I think this guy's dead. I think he's just been, he's never going to come out because he was dead.
Greshy, you kneeling down and sifting through the books that were here, they all seem to be very advanced medical books. But you can't read them because they're all Thessalonian, but you can kind of flip through
Sure,
and
of
you
course.
can see there's a lot of diagrams of the brain, some diagrams of the heart, various organs and systems. There's enough magic looking stuff in here that it might be medicine from a magical perspective, is what this pile of books all seem to be. But you're not able to discern the actual content really of these books without being able to read them for real. Gunn.
Spend some more time learning with Asher, but
I can read them if you want to know what.
I'll just have you read
also
them to
can't
me.
read, but I'm
Each
looking
title.
for any like hidden objects, any carefully written notes.
Well, you can see on the desk, kind of front and center, there's what seems to be a nice-looking leather-bound journal. that is currently closed, and there's a quill pen sitting on top of it. Beside it is a stack of books. Many of them seem to have visuals of one of them has like a very ornate looking eye inscribed on the side, like the organ, the eye, not the letter I. There's also the, let's see, there's also a a hexagon made of some kind of silver. It looks like an old-timey mirror. It's very polished, and if you flip it over onto the back, there's a red etching of what looks like a sheep. There's also, let's see,
anything with the same sort of energy for pride that the tokens we got from give for lust. I can't remember her name.
Nothing obvious. There is a golden, a small like handheld golden peacock statuette that sits on the table. It looks like it maybe doubles as an incense burner, but the incense in it has been burnt out. There's also in one on the corner of the table, far away from the pile of books and the journal and other stuff, there is a very neatly folded cloak and a hat sitting on top of it. The cloak looks very unassuming. It's a simple brown cloak. And honestly, the same is true of the hat. It looks like just a simple brown hat. Brown leather hat. Like maybe like a wizard's hat.
That's kind of like me to think.
Pointy top, but like a wide brim around the edge.
I will put on his cloak and wizard hat.
You can, sure. Yeah, you take the brown cloak and put it on top.
Is that what you wore to the Lust Wing?
You feel a bit of a spark as you try to put a cloak on top of a second cloak. And you like there's a jolt that runs through your body, and you kind of toss the cloak to the ground.
My cloak for today, so I can take mine off. But no, I'll try to figure out what they are. They might be, if they are enchanted indeed.
Okay. It's clear from that interaction that at least the cloak seems to be. So yeah, you can try and identify these. Just the hat and cloak are what you were identifying. You can go and roll. You have quick identify, so just go ahead and roll the
yes.
Whichever magical
Religion
stat you would
twice.
like. Sure.
Okay. Religion twice. 1, 2. We have a 23 and a 36.
Okay.
Cloak and hat, respectively.
I forgot to write down the hat. If there was something with the hat. Where's the hats? Okay, you had exactly enough for the first one. Okay, the hat seems to be a greater hat of disguise, and the cloak is a greater clandestine cloak. The hat of disguise effectively lets you disguise self. Yeah, you can cast Illusory Disguise any number of times per day as a second level spell. And the Clandestine Cloak makes you appear... Let's see. Gives you the benefits of non-detection for 8 hours. And makes it easy for you to appear as a background character. So it hides you from
I see.
scrying spells and makes you hard to notice in a crowd.
Well,
Or in, like, a place where you're not
yeah,
supposed to be.
I'm guessing this is the real Vraxaris because these are real, like, fairly powerful objects, from what I can tell.
Maybe.
And I'll take a look at the silver mirror and the incense burner as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for both of those. I'll do silver mirror first, then incense
In
burner.
order. 34 and 35. Well, plus 1 on each of those.
Okay.
35 and 36.
The incense burner, as far as you're able to tell, doesn't appear to be magical at all. But it does look like it actually is solid gold and could probably fetch for a good amount. The silvered mirror, on the other hand, while it is magical, doesn't appear to be a device that you activate per se. It seems to be a very powerful spell component. Possibly something that could
Invested with pride is
replace.
the same.
No, this is. Well, I mean, you're not sure. I guess.
Okay. We're
Um,
looking for something invested with pride, or a way to invest things with pride.
Right. This could
match
be.
What
You're
we
not
did
sure.
with the. Okay.
Yeah. It just seems to be. It seems to be kind of like a magical
Could replace a
focus.
spell component.
It probably replaces a
Okay.
component for a spell or a ritual, perhaps. But you're not sure exactly what spell or ritual or what it is.
Okay. You think a particular component for a particular spell, rather
Yes.
than like something that you could use instead of, say, verbal components.
Correct. Yeah, it seems like it's got a very
Okay.
specific
Okay.
purpose. Yeah.
Okay. These don't seem to be anything super. Although this is definitely a clue of some kind, but I don't know what it could be for. Casting a spell, a particular spell, maybe, is all I can think of.
Ooh.
Anything else here on the desk that's worth tossing in the bag? Because the rest of this is, in the bag.
I think I've described everything to you. That was on the.
Okay. Well, I got those 4 things, but did I forget anything that you mentioned?
I mean, those were the items. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The only other thing was the journal
Yeah, I
and the
think we can
books.
throw those all in the. Oh, the journal, right? Asher. I knew there was something. I'll call Asher over and hand him the journal. Can you see what you could learn from this, maybe?
What does the journal say? I will try and read it.
Okay. You look at the front of the journal, and written there in rough Thessalonian runes is the glorious works of Vraxaris the 204th.
It's his diary. Also, was he just cloning himself constantly? Are there other diaries in here, actually? Now that I've seen
Are
this,
there-
I want to look
Are
for
there
other
203
diaries.
other diaries?
Yeah. Are all these books diaries on the wall? What is
It's
this?
just him writing to himself.
No, the other books
How
in this
awesome
room
he
all
is.
seem to be on random magical subjects. A lot of very high-level magical research type books. But you don't see any other journals around at a glance.
Well, apparently there were over 200 of these guys. I'll crack open the book. Is it really just a bunch of musings?
Yes, it is. Seems to be quite a lot of musings. If you guys want to take the time, then you could spend like 30 minutes or so digging through the book, and I can read you some pertinent experts that Asher would find. Otherwise, you could wait until later.
Would you like me to read it as you search the room?
I'm
As
now thinking that
background
maybe this is where we'll end up camping for our night. But first we should check the side room here.
So you don't want me to read his diary yet.
Yet, being the
Okay.
keyboard there.
Later we will have a nice reading
No, of course.
from his secret diary.
Okay. So Asher, he like flicked open the latch and then began to look at it and then closes it. It's like this will take a little bit to sift through. It's a lot of writing. It's
I'd
many hundreds
love
of
to talk about
hundreds of
himself.
pages.
Oh boy.
It's like Phelan or Greshy has opened the doors and let Phelan in and then closed the door again. Is that what's happened?
He was trying to get inside, so
He's just pawing at the
You
door.
want to check the other room? I didn't hear anything in there.
Mhm. That's exactly what was happening.
Asher's looking at the two of you. Asked if you wanted to go into the next room.
I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead.
let's go.
I will do the same as I've done before and tentatively open this door. I'm not knocking this time.
You might kill
Okay.
somebody else if you do. It'd be
Alright.
terrible.
I know, I'm scared.
You slide the two doors open,
Oh, dear.
revealing a hallway. On the left-hand side of the hallway, there is a closed door. On the right-hand side of the hallway, further up, there's another closed door. But up ahead, all through the hallway, you see books strewn around, pages torn from books, pots broken and shattered. It looks like a huge mess. As the room kind of opens up into what looks like a bigger library down up ahead.
This is strange.
Bit concerning.
Somebody attack him here with something that may have also been illusionary.
Maybe they were throwing books at each other.
Wait, if they did mental damage, they would have not killed him with it. So something really must have. If he was, I'm assuming he was killed by something that didn't leave a mark.
Mhm.
Given that it doesn't, the rest of this doesn't look like he keeled over dead because we took out the clones.
Yeah, it looks like a whirlwind came through this hallway.
Shall we advance together and see
Yeah.
what we can see?
Let's see what we can see.
Oh boy. All right.
Oh, you're just
Everybody
going for
together?
it. Okay.
Yeah, Gunn and Asher make their way through the hall, as Phelan and Greshy stomp through behind. You come up
Rock
to
will keep
this
watch.
first door on your right, or sorry, on your left.
How many doors are there?
You see, there's one
That's probably a very bad
right in
idea.
front of Asher. There's another up ahead on the right, and then there's a third door nestled between two bookcases at the far side of the upcoming room. The next library
That
space.
rule of three only applies when the three doors are all adjacent to each other.
That's not necessarily been the case.
Well, I'll listen to this door. If it's closed, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, you approach the door that's to your immediate left, sidle up against it, and take a listen. You hear a soft hum. Like a slight vibration. It almost sounds like a musical note, but a very low one. But you don't hear any creatures therein. The light seems to be on inside.
Okay.
The lights in here, by the way, seem to be just emanating from mirrored tiles on the ceiling.
Well, there's a sound in this room, a humming.
like a musical sort of humming, or
You're like, I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, it's just like
Right.
a.
What it sounds like. Oh. But I went with like the really annoying bee. Okay, sounds like some kind of sound.
we can take a look.
I can peek.
Weapons out, perhaps.
Given the door is not locked, I will try.
Yeah, the door doesn't seem to have any lock. This one's a swinging door. It opens out into the hall, but you're able to twist the handle and kind of peek inside. And the scene before you is maybe slightly horrifying. There are
Truly devastating.
no less than half a dozen Vraxaris bodies strewn across the floor. All of them somewhat misshapen. Some of them have slightly small heads. Some of them have hands that are a little bit too big. And they're kind of they're just kind of strewn about on the floor kind of haphazardly. And you can see what are clearly magical runes and markings all over the ground and walls.
I'm worried we're about to run into Echidna. That would be very bad indeed.
But you
Must
hear
be
the
the
soft humming you
trash
hear
one.
seems to be coming from those sigils.
Do I know what the sigils are? I don't know why I would. But
You'd have Arcana check to you'd have to do an Arcana check to investigate them, step into the room and look them over and move the bodies out of the way.
well, I'm not stepping in there. I know what happens when
Don't
people step on things.
the sigils. Don't step on the sigils.
I'll
You don't have to step on them. You would just have to. You'd have to be closer and move the body so you could see the full markings on the floor. Is what I'm saying. But there's no obvious words written out.
What's the worst that could happen?
Greshy,
Well,
Oh wait, what?
come
this
here.
could be their
Look
this
at
could
what
be
I
their cloning
found.
machine, or it could be their body disposal.
Let's take a look.
I found a trash room with magic.
Dear God.
So either the sigils make more of
Okay,
them,
Greshy
or
will go
they
in.
destroy things that you put on there. But if they do that, they're not doing very good.
I want to figure out what the heck I'm looking at here. Besides a pile of bodies.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check then if you're gonna go ahead and investigate this room.
Greshy, will step in and investigate. Which an Arcana check. That's a natural one. I'm gonna use my hero point. I'll go ahead and re-roll that.
Okay.
See if we get something better this time. That is better. That's a 36.
17 for 36. Okay.
It'd be 34, I suppose, with the negatives.
34, yeah. So you're trained in Arcana, but you're not an expert in it. You can't be certain exactly what the runes do, but this does feel like a container room of some sort. Like these runes were here to probably to preserve more than they are to create. You're almost getting incubation vibes from these runes.
Are these things growing in
So
here?
But you can tell that the
cloning
magic
machine.
on the runes, someone has actually gone through and the way the bodies are arranged, it looks like they've been actually knocked over, and that someone has come through and smudged the ink that forms the sigils, and the sigils themselves are definitely malfunctioning because of this. The symbols themselves are
Great.
not fully working.
Okay.
Someone's
Is there
rude
a
in here.
safe way to permanently deactivate this thing?
Deactivate.
Someone sabotaged their cloning machine. and they
Or their incubator.
and then when it failed, then produced these messed up copies. That's maybe why there were only 7 of them now instead of 200.
Oh, I read this totally as like
That's why.
they put the clone baby egg in there, and then the egg hatched like a baby chicken, and these are all the baby chickens, but because it's broken, the baby chickens have bad arms and
Yes.
weird heads.
That's exactly what I get too.
So I don't think these are just like preserving them. Is there
Fair
one?
enough.
I wonder if there's one that's
There's
making
probably another-
them. Yeah.
Another step of this process somewhere else.
I
Or
think
these
I'm
could
going to
be
let them
producing
be.
eggs.
Okay. Greshy steps out of the room.
It's a bit weird with all the bodies just lying there like that.
They're all the same. All right.
Asher, I
there's-
presume Asher closes the door then behind you.
Yes, I don't want to see those.
Okay. You guys make your way forward and into what appears to be another library or study. Here, most of the books from the shelves have been, for lack of a better word, destroyed. Pages are just strewn out all over the floor. It looks like someone was like frantically searching the books almost, given how like thoroughly everything is strewn about. There is, like I said, there's a door in the bottom, like just up ahead to the left, nestled in between 2 bookcases. And there's another door just on your right along the hallway.
I'll open the one along the hallway since we're there.
Greshy, you open the door here in the hallway and uncover a smaller room, this one with only 1 sigil, and 5 very stunted-looking clones of Vraxaris. These ones seem to not even be, like, they're all naked, but they're not even fully formed. 2 of them are missing arms. The others look so thin as to be like emaciated. One is just kind of a coiled mass of flesh with like a bit of Vraxaris' face and some wisps of hair. But it's a pretty gnarly looking scene.
Open the door. I'm done. Out of there.
Alright, you
They're
just close
so
the door
awful.
afterwards?
I just closed the door.
Okay.
Nope. Don't even want anything to do with him.
What do you think is behind that door then? 3
What
for
about
Dawn, it's your
around this
turn.
corner? Oh, okay, this little nook.
There's nothing
Uh-oh.
down there. There's nothing I can see. I mean, we could still look around and see if there's anything.
Yeah, is it just as destroyed as the rest of the room?
There is a singular nook around the corner from that room. Some of the books there seem to be more intact. It would take some time to sift through them, but many of the other books are ruined. There's looks like maybe a good couple dozen books still remain in like decent condition, including some pretty big, thick-looking tomes.
Well, maybe later we'll be able to come back and figure out some of those things.
Most of us can read them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Asher's got plenty of reading to go for a while.
Story time.
Story time with Asher.
You know, given that this room doesn't have anything in it, that's worse than the other rooms.
That's certainly something in those other rooms.
I messed up. I could have
Oh.
read. I could have read this whole time. Oh well. It's 1 hour, not 10 minutes on the second level.
Oh,
So 1
okay. I
hour.
was gonna say. All right. Oh, that's fine. It ended abruptly early for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I thought the lower level version also lasted less time, but I'm wrong.
Anyway, who wants to open it?
Oh boy. I'll do it. Unless you want to do it, Gunn.
No, I'm just
You wanna-
standing by.
Okay.
He's moral support for you. No worries.
Okay, I'll open the gross door.
Okay, Asher makes his way to the door between these two bookshelves. It's an opulent-looking door. It's clearly made of wood, but has some like metal bits that are clearly like gilded at least. And you open the door. You open the door to reveal an opulent-looking bedroom. On your left, there are a couple of bookcases, as well as a metal, like a golden bar. Hanging from it are a number of different outfits. Many of them look like the ones that Rexaris wore, but there's a couple other unique-looking clothing items in there. And you see pillows and the like strewn about the floor. The room continues to your right, but you can't quite see what's over there from the doorway.
I'm peeking in.
You peek into the
This is
room
odd.
to find a large bed at the opposite end of the chamber. And lying in it are Delvaheen. 2 times. Double Delvaheen. Both of them lying on the bed. They're clear like red marks around their throats. They're wearing like skimpy looking clothing. But they're just there. They're on the bed and not moving at all.
Well, this is actually the worst of the rooms, in my opinion. Strange.
Oh, did you find
man.
something worse?
Oh,
I mean-
there's. You should
This
go
one,
look
I
at
think
that.
we should go inside.
Go take a peek.
Oh,
Yeah.
How is she? I mean, is she a clone?
They are both-
Is she?
I'm good.
I'm gonna assume they
Greshy peeks in and
cloned
is like,
her. I'm
Greshy.
good.
Greshy,
That's a weird room.
would you do me the favor of checking to see if they were clones, illusions?
what else do you think they
choked
are?
to death? What can we
Oh.
draw from this situation?
I will go and examine the creepy copy bodies of the creature from the other wing.
So
You make
I
your way
have a
up.
question. Oh, sorry.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I know this can be done after this. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I want to go back in that room with all the books that weren't like kind of destroyed and search for books on like weird cloning rituals when we're done here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can do that. So Greshy, you make you like climb up onto the king-sized bed.
It's so
and-
soft. It's terrible.
It's
The water
actually
bed?
not. It looks like it's going to be very soft and plush, but when you climb up on top of it, it's extremely hard. Like you're expecting cushion and you get like
Bad bed.
stone. It is
Everything
very
out here.
solid
Hmm.
and rigid and not very comfortable. Though it might be comfortable if you like a hard bed. But in any case, you make your way over
I
to
prefer it harder.
the 2 Delvaheens. They both look a bit younger than the Delvaheen that you saw. Their faces a little bit more smooth, I guess, smooth-skinned. But they're both very much dead. What were you trying to figure out about them?
Let's determine if are they also clones? Is this a magical origin sort of thing, or is this actually done through some sort of alchemic process? Because obviously we know that these are not the same as the person we saw before, but
Right.
how this is made.
They very clearly aren't like illusory. You're able to touch them and interact. Like you can like depress their skin and it reacts. They're very well preserved for having been dead, but you figure that might be some kind of magical effect that exists here, either in this wing of the Runeforge or perhaps everywhere in the Runeforge. You're not sure. as to the nature of their construction, it's possible that they've been cloned. You've heard of cloning magic existing, but you've never seen it yourself.
No idea how it would work.
Yeah, you would really have no idea how it would work effectively. I mean, I could give me an Arcana check. Maybe you could try and recall knowledge on a spell that could create such a thing. But this is pretty hard.
There was a part of me that was wanting to throw points at it, but I thought that would have been a terrible idea. And it would have been a terrible idea. But yes, 35 total.
So 35 minus 2 is 33. You're
33.
Your experiences with arcane magic have been limited to like books that you find in town, not whatever kind of advanced functionality this might be. You've never really seen or heard of anything like this, and you've never thought to look it up.
Well,
it feels like an abomination
die,
almost to create this.
It definitely is. It's messed up.
Sorry, God was asking how did they die?
Mm-hmm.
Can I examine them? I mean, I assume you said the red marks on the throat?
Yeah, at a glance, it appears to have been strangulation, but you could do a medicine check
Both of
to
them?
determine if there was something else beyond that.
Does one of them have a left-hand strangle mark and the other one has a right-hand strangle mark? Like, was this one person grabbing both of them by the neck?
That would be a medicine check.
I clicked that twice. That was an accident.
Okay, I'll take the first one, which is a 36.
It was the first one, 31. Yeah, 36. 34.
36, 35,
With the
34. 34. Okay, so yeah, 34 medicine to, like, kind of look them over, check for any other wounds to see if this was, like, covering anything up. No, they both appear to have been strangled with two hands, probably, or, certainly the marks look like there was two hands that strangled them. Probably human hands, given the size. There weirdly doesn't seem to be any resistance. It doesn't look like there was a struggle here. It looks like either they were asleep or otherwise already unconscious or just otherwise didn't react to being strangled.
That's what I was wondering. Because I figured that only the real clone of Vraxxurus would have been qualified to do it. I'm not sure if the 6 that we fought would have been smart enough to. Well, I guess they would have been smart enough, especially if they were ordered to. What I'm picturing having happen here is that Vraxxurus and Delvaheen had some sort of falling out, which she cleverly hid from us. We didn't really have a clue. Rather than keeping him prisoner, she had in fact already killed him and then gone back to her wing.
Oh, yeah.
And somehow she got out past the clones. In the hallway, figuring that no one would be able to get in here to discover what she'd done.
Why would she lie?
She thought we were Vraxxurus' ally. Why would she admit to killing him?
There's no reason for her to lie, is what I'm saying.
There's no reason for her to help us.
Sure, but there's no reason for her to tell us anything other than what happened.
I mean,
she told us where to find Vraxxurus. She told us where his stuff was. If she was lying to us, she would not have given us the location of the information that tells the lie.
My biggest issue with this situation is I would think Vraxxurus would be more likely to kill her than she would be to come and kill him and destroy his stuff. One, because they're kind of like allied magics
Sort
to
of.
her area was much more as weird as it was in there. It was a much more consensual area. This area does not seem that way. They have 2 clones that probably, if we're thinking about the clones outside, didn't really have too much of a mind of their own, who were killed.
Could be.
Maybe she hurt his pride somehow and he wanted to get back at her in the way that a lot of evil, crazy people do, and create something that can't fight back. I
That's
don't
fair.
know. But
We
that
can't
could be
say
read.
whose fault
Mhm.
it really was. But we do have pretty good reason to believe she was involved and knows what happened.
She could know what happened.
I think we should maybe search around in this room for anything else. To any other clues or items we might make use of.
You go right ahead. I'm done with that
Maybe
room.
maybe have our rest.
Creepy. This is the creepiest one to me so far.
Well, are there any books in this back room?
Yes, there are a collection of books here. So are you searching around, or?
I'll
Very
look at titles since I can in fact still read them
Okay.
for another 30 minutes or so.
Sure. The books in here seem to be just various books on illusion magic and like illusion fundamentals. Some of them are on Xandergul, like the history of Xandergul. Other tomes are more explicitly about the peacock god. At a glance, you don't see anything interesting amongst the books in his in these bedchambers.
Okay. Then the next thing I would do is check in the nook. If there's like a theme to the topics of this nook.
This nook seems to be a bit more about spell casting. Some of them actually seem to be old spell books specifically, and spell theses. A lot of them pretty focused on illusion. What's your? I think I already know your perception modifier. You notice that there's a couple of gaps here. The most notable gap is a section that's clearly about dedicated to divination magic. And there's only 1 or 2 tomes here, and there's like a big gap where there should be more tomes. You see some books about like scrying and seeing the beyond and that sort of thing. But there's clearly a section here that's supposed to be more. The other
He had his cloak of
section.
non-detection, and he forgot to put it on
Oh no.
that day because it was on the cloak stand.
What was the other section that you see is that is largely missing is there's one single book laying on a shelf that is it is open and the pages are mostly torn out, but you're able to read the cover and like a couple of pages inside, and it's a book on advanced simulacrums.
Okay, I'll tell the group that, like, someone clearly purposefully destroyed this book in particular, which might have had information about creating clones. Probably the same person who damaged all of the ritual spaces here, or the magic circles. Yeah, someone definitely had it in for this guy.
Yeah. It's not as destroyed as the Envy Wing, but someone was futzing around.
Someone who's able to sneak in here somehow.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sneak in and out because those clones were certain, I guess, nobody was disturbing him in here.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they... Yeah, they'd have to sneak out, I guess.
Well, yeah, because that ends up being to your advantage.
Mhm.
If you get out, then the guards are still guarding the
Yeah.
empty vault, as it were. Anybody, any thoughts on what we should do next?
We could read the diary. We can have a nice diary reading. We could look at the
Diary
books.
sounds like a good... Yeah, diary sounds like a good call.
Do we want to
I don't want to be in here.
pack up and leave, or do we want to do it here?
I think we should...
I would rather do it in at least the other room with the books and not
I
in
feel
this
like-
weird area.
With the other body. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
The other body.
And we can let Rock know what's going on and maybe ask him to keep watch and call for us if anything
I can't go
comes
around
into that
saying-
big chamber. That big room there is almost an ideal situation for him to be keeping a guard for us.
I would say he could perch on the statue, but apparently that's not even real.
He could perch on the... It's a stone there.
Rock on the
He
rock.
could perch on that.
Rock.
As he could like hold his wings up and pretend to be the the bird part, because that's what's not real.
Okay, so you guys return to the that first little room with the body of the older Vraxaris lying there on the floor. And what do you guys do?
Time for a dramatic diary reading. This weird guy.
Okay. You pull up the only stool in the room, which is at the table, Asher, and you plop down and start rifling through the diary, looking for anything of interest. It starts. It starts on some arbitrary day. This seems like it's one part of a multi-part series of journals. You're not sure, but you haven't seen where the other ones are. But it just seems to like be continuing a thought from a prior page at the very start.
Ooh,
And the page it starts on seems to be just kind of mundane musings on some weird illusion spell that he was having trouble processing. You flip a few more pages. There seems to be some discovery on... or he talks about making progress in coming to understand his predecessor's notes. But he kind of alludes to all this stuff very vaguely. So you start just kind of flipping through because a lot of it doesn't really make sense to you exactly what he's talking about. And once you get towards the latter half, you spot a page that looks pretty interesting. It reads, "The Runeforge pool awoke. A clear sign that Runelord Xandergul has finally risen. When I first arrived at the pool to investigate, it seemed that the other wings had come to similar conclusions, that the Runelords are in fact beginning to stir. The foolish Wardens of Envy plotted to disrupt the recrudescence, but with the aid of Azaven, Ordekan, Athroxis, and Delvaheen, that lovely creature, I was able to organize a preemptive strike and utterly obliterate them. Their adjurant hulls lie in ruins now. There were some losses for certain, but I will not mourn for lost pawns, especially when they are not my own. It seems that our treaty was doomed to be short-lived, however. Azaven has already absconded with what remains of the Wardens. That treacherous wench Athroxis has nearly burned me to death, simply for suggesting that she educate her foot soldiers in proper tactics. Though I have some concern for the stability of this subplane with one of its pillars gone, I have more important matters to attend to. Would you like to read to the next page?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to need a lot of spelling later.
Yeah.
I have the full document. I'll share it with you.
Okay, good.
Oh,
fabulous. Yeah, you flip till you get to the next interesting section. The signs were misleading. Runelord Xandergul still slumbers. It's that monster Karzu who awakens in Nir's rebirth. Damnation! He must not be allowed to precede Xandergul into this world, for he would rebuild Thassalon in his own inferior image, a testament to his own greed rather than one of pride in the work. He must be delayed or defeated. I must gather as much information as I can and begin formulating a plan. Though the thought suddenly occurs to me, one I am surprised has not entered my mind since stepping into the Runeforge thousands of years ago. How exactly do I leave this place? Tell me next when you would like to get to the next section.
Next. Did he figure it out?
You flip through a bit more until you find the next interesting piece. Ha! He exclaims. Thanks to my extensive collection of tomes, I have discovered a method to leave Runeforge to a certain extent. Via astral projection, I can explore the outside, what the outside world has become. It is a brutish place, yet it pleases me to see that Thassalon's mark still endures in the shape of our monuments. Still, the wilderness of the world vexes me. Gone is the empire I know. As far as I could confirm, the only Karzug's city of Zinshalas remains. It seems that the mountains within Mahar Masif's shadow are altered in some way that defies reason. By stroke of luck, while wandering these vexing mountains in search of the river Ava, I came across a small party of dwarves, under the company banner of Ogletune or some such dwarven nonsense, excitedly bandying about their haul from a city of gold. They planned to visit some riddle sport, or some such, to recruit a more serious expedition party, but I did not have the time or patience to wait. While their trail was still fresh, I managed to trace their footsteps to Zinshalast itself, only to find the spires where his body must be hidden to be inaccessible, warded against astral travelers by an occlusion field around Mahar Masif's peak. As long as his runewell remains active, I fear that even a physical approach would be impossibly deadly. I must determine a way to pierce these wardings, then send an agent in my place. No need to risk my own life before my next body is ready. Next page.
Next
Hold on.
page. Oh,
Hold on.
are we holding on?
Let's pause there. So there's definitely a difference between all of these clones they were attempting to make and the things that we fought. Because this guy is like way different than them. He knows all about the history of Thassalon. Like he was there. If only we had been able to talk to him.
Well, Ash killed him by knocking on the door, so...
It was too loud. I'm so
we
sorry.
frightened him to death. You've got to be careful with
Well,
that.
It seemed like a jerk. I don't know. I don't
we're
feel that
getting the
bad.
names of lots of the leaders of the other wings, so I wonder if they are the same, if they are all precede the fall and somehow have been down here for long. Although let's see, so time definitely passes in here. 204 lifetimes ish. 4,700 years. That seems too long. It's about 250 years per Vraxeris.
Well, humans don't quite usually live that long, do you?
If there is some
Maybe he
accelerated time
killed them
here,
when he got to 50.
if there is some accelerated time here, it's maybe about triple, or probably not more than 10 times.
I sure
Seems
hope
to
it's
have
not
some-
10 times, because that means we're wasting a lot of time in here.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be a year, right?
Point stands. Could be very bad. But
And he called this place a subplane. Astral projection as a way out. So we've got some ideas that could help us.
do we know much about the spell Astral Projection?
I know
I'm not
now.
even sure if that's a spell in this edition.
You'd have to do a recall knowledge on it, but you can attempt to recall knowledge. I can tell you what that would be. Let me double check. Arcana or occultism would be the required recall knowledge.
We'll do Arcana, because why not? Oh, 22. 20 even,
22?
actually.
20. You might have
Nope.
heard the phrase before. You think that might be jumping into people's dreams or something, going into the dream world, maybe. Greshy.
I'll
but-
explain how we could see what people were imagining, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But that's not a really good escape at all, because if he's jumping into dreams, he's obviously not jumping out of here
But that's
proper.
not what he said. He said that he was watching a company of dwarves travel.
What was
That
the
he
clan
also
name again?
needed an agent.
Ogle something.
I will not. I don't remember as a player.
But
But perhaps
Asher,
Asher could
double-
read it
this was-
again.
This was
Double
quite
checks.
recent, and they were headed to Riddleport.
You double check the runes, Asher, and in Thessalonian it reads Ogletune.
Ogletune.
Interesting. Ogletune. Well,
Yeah, you can continue now.
Do you know of the Ogletunes?
It was definitely written quite recently.
it sounds like we have at least a lead if we can find our way out of here to talk to them.
It's true. All right, I can continue reading.
Okay.
By clicking the next button.
Asher clicks next on the journal.
So convenient. I've never seen anything like it.
You continue flipping
Magic.
through to try and find another interesting section. A lot of this bit. Oh, hold on one sec. I think my AC just turned on, and I don't want it to turn on right now. For it makes noise, and noise is bad. I hope it's not been on generally. If so, I'm sorry,
I
audio
don't hear it.
listeners. Okay, if you don't hear it, it's fine.
heard it.
Sometimes it comes through. It's annoying. Okay, so a lot of it seems to be kind of weird calculations and stuff scribbled in between these pages, and you finally get to something more interesting. A very short entry. It seems that my extended stay in these halls has made me an outsider to the material plane. Attempts to form a physical body there are very easily rejected. Since I'm unable to use conjuration magic myself, I suppose I'll have to get a bit more creative. But no matter, my genius shall find a way. You may click next when you're ready.
Before you go forward, you found a magic component, you said?
That's true. I'll pull out this silvered hexagon mirror. Does that give me any clue?
Is there
What
any
might
way
that
to
try to
tell
do?
if this would be an appropriate tuning fork?
It certainly doesn't look like any tuning fork you've seen. It might be. You
Is
could
there
like
any way to
investigate it a
tell?
bit
I was
more
gonna say-
thoroughly. You could spend some time doing some magical research with it for like a couple hours to
I think-
try and determine.
Perhaps once we adjourn for the night, I'll take a look and see if I can. Perhaps if this is attuned to the material plane proper, this is our way back.
Could be.
Because we can cast conjuration magic. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue, Asher. You were reading?
Press next.
Okay. I have taken steps towards a new alliance with Delvaheen. The teachings of Sorshan do not eschew the use of plane-shifting magic. All we need to do then is find a tuning fork still attuned to the material plane. There may still be one here somewhere within the Rune Forge, but I have left locating it in my lady's delicate hands. Even if one does not exist, with the right tome or scroll, I could have her call upon agents from the outside world. Perhaps through them we could secure heroes with which we could need to deal. We could secure the heroes we need to deal Karzug a fatal blow in the crib. I thank the feathers that she seems more interested in stopping Karzug than reviving Sorshan. All the better for Xandergul. Next, when you are ready. Press next to continue.
He may have misread that situation.
It's possible that she did. Take care of business early.
Next.
You flip through some more. As I suspected, the occlusion field around Karzug's fortress has a fatal flaw. His lack of knowledge in the intricacies of Sorshan and Xandergul's specialties will be his undoing. I must put aside my cloning research and devise a stratagem.
I was clowning everybody for funsies.
Press
Good
next
practice.
to continue.
I'll press next to continue.
An idea from a past body returns to me. The Runeforge pool is the key. These days it has been relegated to the creation and enchantment of magic items, but what if we were to revive the Runeforged weapons project of old? With components infused with our two lords' virtues, Delvaheen and I could extract the latent magic from these components via the pool, then anoint our chosen heroes' weapons with their combined power. With such weapons in hand, tearing through Karzug's occlusion field and through his dark heart should be simple. The pool seems to have enough reserves left in it to infuse, at most, a half dozen or so arms. Assuming the other wings don't run it dry first. We should prioritize making dominant weapons, infused with illusion and enchantment magics. If we have time, however, perhaps a few additional weapons of other pairings could aid in future battles against the other Runelords and their minions. For my own part, fragments of the mirrors in the Peacocks Hall should suffice as a component. Delvaheen says that she shall create some special equipment that should suffice for enchantment.
I imagine Asher's reading this and just starts giggling.
I'm gonna have to go slap the force field with this. Whap whap.
Saints Row the Third with that giant bat. Just imagining Asher running down the hall with that.
Now I bet there was probably a knife in there, and I could have gotten that, and just it wouldn't have been so weird. That's okay.
But now you have a bouncy ball.
I do have a bouncy ball, and I have a
Fragments of the mirrors, is that referring to the mirrors that we broke coming in here?
There are some in the hall, in fact, I believe, though they were put back into the frame, I think. Imagine we could just take them back out.
Yeah, they were reassembled. If we could take those out, maybe
Sure.
those would be.
That'll work. What do you think, Asher?
Is that all that was in the book?
Oh, sorry, there's the next to continue, yeah.
I think these are good, but I could also continue reading out of his secret diary.
All right.
Yeah, of course.
Let's continue reading.
Okay.
Juicy gossip.
You start flipping through, and you see a bunch of diagrams of the Peacocks Hall, which seems to be that massive chamber that you guys were just that's right outside of here. The massive golden peacock and all the mirrors surrounding it along the walls and ceiling. There's more notes scribbled in about Well, it's actually really hard to understand what the notes are about because the writing starts to get really sloppy. What was once very neat, clear handwriting begins to get really like loose and flowy. And it's really hard for you, even though you can kind of like you can read Thessalonian pretty well at this point. It's really hard to read what he's actually written here. But you eventually come across a very short passage tucked in beside some notes and like a loose sketch of Delvaheen with like an angry face drawn on her. And it reads, the S for agents goes poorly. Delvaheen more interested in own goals than aid me. Worse, lapses, increasing fevers, that damn illness starting again too early in this body. I fear I will have to deal Karzug myself at rate. And it's very, very hastily scribbled in. You flip through a little bit more and you find some more notes in the margins. I can't look at them anymore. I'm running out of time. And you continue flipping, and there's more space, like big white space in between entries. There's some kind of rough calculations, some really loose diagrams drawn, but they're really just not making any kind of sense to you. And you finally get to there's a bunch of page gaps where it looked like maybe he was just flipping to the first page that he found open that was empty and just started scribbling in. And there's one page that's just by itself. And at the top it's just written ha ha ha, and below that Jordamandius built a Mather's circle / Halls of Wrath ages ago apparently ? I will use this to escape this place soon. I just finished clone 205. It's been put off long enough. Next body I will finally cure. And then there's just a lone exclamation mark at the bottom of the page. And it's very, like, hastily, it looks like the rune for an exclamation mark in Thessalonian appears to just be kind of, like, scrawled off the page, like he did, like, a very big flourish with the pen.
Okay.
There's a few more diagrams after that.
First, books fell over.
Yeah.
Could be more than 10 times speed if he hasn't been living a full life, generally. Full lifespan. Like if this guy only lives some amount of weeks or years, depending on like the time acceleration here could be very, very fast.
It would dramatically. It depends on what kind of disease it is.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a wasting disease. From the sound of it, it sounds like it came across sudden this time, so it might even be getting worse.
Are there any dates in this diary?
Oh, good point.
There don't seem to be very obvious dates. He just seems to demarcate passes of time by like skipping to another page, and doing like ... He doesn't seem to have a really strong grip on what days are what days. But I guess with that information, you can actually flip back through, and you do find notes that the time between bodies is getting shorter and shorter. And you can kind of now make sense a little bit more of some of his just random scribblings about perfecting some spell. You see now that all the diagrams seem to be related to perfecting some spell that he calls clone. That is some very advanced form of simulacrum.
I see.
But he seems to be trying to decipher his old notes that he can no longer understand. That the calculus is too advanced for his mind. And that he wished that he had more time. There's a lot of like frustration in these pages in retrospect as you kind of surf back through earlier entries, that he's clearly trying to that he seems to know how to do it, or knew how to do it at some point in a past body, and can't seem to make it happen again, or he needs time to make it happen again.
There does seem to be some accelerated time in play, though, for sure. Based on the fact that he's been here since before the collapse, and there's been 200 of him, and that's potentially with some of those happening even before the collapse.
Well, if he's been here for like a few thousand years and his time kept getting shorter,
Do I have that?
wouldn't that be reasonable for like a few thousand years going normally?
Well, the other side of it is recognizing.
Oh, okay. I was off by it's 23. It's not 230 human lifespans.
Oh.
It's 23 human lifespans, end to end, roughly.
Yeah.
Right. So he can go through. this
23 years per, not 230 years per Vraxaris.
Oh.
23 years. Okay,
per body per
Yeah.
body.
Which again, varying levels of how long he's in a body for, but well, it doesn't sound like
maybe-
he was murdered.
Yeah, that actually does not sound like there. It doesn't sound like he was murdered, and it doesn't sound like there's any time acceleration we have to worry about. If he's been lasting 20 years on average, that would be short enough that he would be like, that fits with everything that we have. That would be short enough that he would be worried about the time. Perhaps it started out longer and now it's much shorter than that. Yeah,
I still don't recommend we take our time in here.
sure.
Mm-hmm. That was fun. We learned a lot.
Yeah, we definitely did. We think we might be able to make weapons that could defeat the Runelords. If we
Sounds
focus
like we
too
could
much
make them.
on, but if we focus too much on Karzug right now, we might leave the other ones. And in fact, specifically, it only says there might be enough for 6, and there are unfortunately 7 Runelords. So
Oh yeah.
we might get stuck with whoever is last, just
Pick our
managing it by
favorite.
default. Yeah.
Pick the one we like the best and don't pick that one.
hmm
Oh my god, what was I gonna say? Oh, also, it sounds like there may be a tuning fork somewhere in here. We just don't know where. He mentioned it.
Yeah, fragments of the mirrors could mean the actual fragments of the actual mirrors that we broke, or it could mean this hex thing. But I don't think it's
yeah.
this hex thing. So maybe this is the tuning fork if he managed to acquire it
Oh.
before
Might
he went
be.
crazy.
Shall we go take a look at the rune pool itself and see what's going on? The rune forge pool.
I would
Sure.
kind of-
Maybe I should dip one of these things in it. These
Maybe?
I have
maybe-
3 of
I
them.
think we should get the full details of the process first, since there's only enough energy for 6 attempts. It would
Oh
kind of
yeah,
suck
you're
if we
right.
used up one of those
Yeah.
on a failed project.
There. Well, gather what we need. I'd rather not hang around the bodies here. It's a bit creepy.
Asher, when Gunn says that, and Greshy's talking about gathering up the bodies, your eyes glance over towards the pile of books that's right next to the journal. And in the pile of books, you see the second book in the stack is a book on astral projection.
Oh.
The book at the bottom of the stack is it's a very thin it's basically a thin bound group of a collection of notes, I guess, and that seems to be the notes on the Runeforged Weapons project by Vraxaris number 2.
I'll thank you, number
Hmm.
2. I'll dig those up, I guess. I guess it would have behooved me to look at
Okay.
all the
All
books
these
since
books
I
and
can
piles and
read. But
I think we should stay here. Camp for the night. If we don't need to rest because it's no real night, we can spend that time reading and investigating anything else we can find in this area. And then we can prepare new spells before we go out to the central hall again.
Seems fair.
It's fine. I can read to you all about every book we find.
Just start
Maybe
looking at
we
stuff
may be
as
able to
well.
learn this astral projection skill.
Maybe.
We may be able to learn how to create the Runeforged weapons. We may be able to decipher some more of the mystery of what happened to Vraxeris, and hopefully several of the others at least would have a harder time attacking us here than they would in the center.
I wonder if he... I guess I could investigate more if I want to go back to the room, but I'm like... he could have been the one throwing books all over the place, desperately like looking for something. It's possible it's his own mess, and then he just died out here in a pile of his weird medical research.
Was that not apparent what it was?
The
Oh, I didn't know if people were still thinking someone came in.
Oh no, when you were describing, I mean, I
Ah.
made a joke in chat about Flowers for Algernon, but the
Oh, okay.
losing the ability to understand things, trying to figure out any way to save himself, this is desperation. Him
Okay.
killing all of the failed experiments is shame, especially for someone so
Fair enough.
prideful.
fair enough.
Hide it away.
I missed that. But yeah.
Delvaheen definitely didn't help him out in the way that he
No,
wanted.
and I
her
can
to.
imagine
She's very
some sort
like
of
whatever.
I want to reread those parts later.
Sure.
And I want to see if I can maybe tell the difference between the clone attempts and the simulacra, and whether those Delvaheens are clone attempts or simulacra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot of research and reading you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
As you stand up and start to look around the room for what books you want to start gathering while you make your long rest here. The body is still kind of stinking up the place.
Ugh, we should drag it out.
Or deeper into one
I
of
just
those.
just
back
shove it into one of the other
rooms
rooms.
that has a door.
Trying to get through.
Okay. Asher goes over and grabs the body, and where are you taking it?
I'm just throwing it back or dragging it back into this room where, yeah, get in there.
Okay, so you just kind of lean the body up against the wall.
I don't want to see him looking at me.
You notice that he has a number of clearly magical items on his person as you do so.
Oh. What? Like, what?
He seems to have a... he's wearing his own cloak. He's got a fancy-looking robe. He's got what looks like a magical ring. He's got some kind of special headband. And strapped to his belt, he has a very fancy-looking velvet purple spellbook.
Ooh.
With the image of a brilliant-looking peacock on the front.
Huh. Well,
Oh, he's also got
I
a
suppose I'll
dagger.
collect these things.
He has a version of the dagger that all of the others have, but instead of appearing to be just a rusty metal dagger, this one's actually got some nice runes and carved into it. Looks a bit fancier and more real.
Well, I'll collect these before I guess they start to smell too much and bring them to Gunn, who seems to know a bit more. Every time I
All right,
try
I'll-
and figure out what stuff is, it doesn't go well.
I'll be happy
Okay.
to take a look at those if you put them on the
All right.
desk.
Well, yeah. So as Asher brings them back into the room and tosses them on the desk, and you guys start to dig around for more clues. I think that is where we shall end the session for this evening. Huzzah! You've defeated the
Ooh.
Vraxarises. You found a lot more Vraxarises than you could ever have imagined.
I thought Aldrin was the problem.
Hope you guys had fun. We shall continue this next week, Monday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/thirdaction, or you can find us on youtube.com/thirdaction or podcasts, wherever you get yours. If you want to catch the old episodes, you can do so there. Happy episode 111! I didn't say that at the beginning. I meant to say that.
Ooh.
Next week we'll have 112, and it'll be glorious. Cool. Yay for lore. Good night, everybody.